Childhood. Did you have your typical childhood with your mother and your father, both parents being there? Well, I did not have a typical childhood. And let me explain. As a young pup, I grew up not knowing my father or my mother. My father passed away 2 months before I was born at the age of 17 with a genetic heart problem. And my mother, well, I didn't meet her till I was 14 years old. Regardless though, my childhood was filled with adventure and fun and jumping on the boats. Going out on the water, learning how to crack conchs, dive for lobsters, spearfish, and play with the stingrays. What more could a kid ask for? I was able to take tourists out on the water and have them hold stingrays. I would get to tell them, hey, if you kiss that stingray, it's going to be 7 years good luck, you know. But I'll tell you what, if you tongue that stingray, it's going to be 14. And quite a lot of that. And none of that would have been possible without my grandfather. That's Marvin. The legend himself, the man with the plan, who was a influential figure in my life. So he was also the hardest working man that I know. So my life, my time is very occupied. Spend a lot of time playing football, building engines, fighting roosters, tons of stuff. But also getting in some trouble. So I wouldn't fully say it was spent all well. But that trouble landed me in a reform school in Syracuse, New York. Could you imagine an island boy in 10-degree weather? Now, could you imagine walking through those doors and hearing the deadbolts clank as you walk in, clank as you walk in? Could you imagine popping the corner and seeing bars on every window? Then you had a dorm officer screaming, lights out, when it's time to go to bed. Your freedom is taken away. That's the life that I lived for the next 2 years. Thereafter though, I got to do a bit more traveling. And that was to Scottsdale, Arizona. Guess what? Another reform school. Tell you what though, the weather was a lot better. The weather was definitely better. But the difference between Scottsdale and New York. In Scottsdale, I got to meet another influential figure in my life. Earlier I mentioned my grandfather. Now I'm going to mention Kevin Smith. Super influential in my life. Kevin's perspective on life is much different. Changed my perspective. His is all about being good in business, looking good, and getting the girls. What more could a kid ask for? It's what I wanted, it's what I needed. Shifted my entire perspective for me. I came back to Cayman Islands as a brand new kid. Now, throughout my life, I had a lot of challenges, but I learned a lot of lessons. And these challenges, what and how they came to me, oh well, I couldn't control them. But what I did get control was the lessons that I learned. And with those lessons, I got to learn. Behind every struggle is strength. In your life, you won't always be handed the perfect deck of cards. You won't always get what you want. You might end up with a poor hand. You may end up with a lot less than you asked for. But guess what? You got to make do with what you have. You have the ability to create the life that you want, no matter what hand you were dealt. And that's what I chose to do with my life. Regardless of what I was dealt, I chose to to live the life that I want to live and create the life that I want to live. That has allowed me to be here today. So being that all of you got the opportunity to see a bit into my life, I also want to encourage you to remember that statement that I made. No matter what you are dealt, you can make what you want out of life.